Hey guys, I just wanted the opportunity to go over 29B with you. This is actually a really good study guide for the assessment. It looks very similar to the assessment, so please make sure you take your time with this. The first six questions you're really going to have to memorize. You need to know the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. You're going to need to know the point-slope form. Point-slope form is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x of 1. You need to know how to get the slope. Your slope is equal to y2 minus y of 1 divided by x2 minus x of 1. Okay, that would be your rise over your run. Okay, the variable typically used for the y-intercept is b. Okay, and that would be right here. Your b is your y-intercept, and the variable typically used for the slope is your m. Okay, what is Hoy-Vux for? This is kind of a shortcut, helps us remember for horizontal and vertical lines. So Hoy is the horizontal line, and it helps us remember this is actually not an O, but a zero slope. And the equation of this line would be y equals. So that's what Hoy means. Vux is actually for a vertical line. Okay, it has an undefined slope, and the equation of the line is x is equal to. Okay, so moving on, number 8, find the slope of the line that passes through the 2 points. So remember, slope is y2 minus y sub 1 all over x2 minus x of 1. So I'm going to take my 2, subtract 2, and 6 plus 4. Okay, so this is my x of 1, y of 1, x of 2, y of 2. Okay, so when I do that, I get 0 divided by 10. 0 divided by 10 is equal to 0. So my slope is 0. So be careful. 0 divided by 10 is 0, but 10 divided by 0 is undefined. So it's important that you know if the numerator is 0, the answer is 0. Okay, and if you need to check it with the calculator, you can. So number 9, our slope is going to be 12 minus 8 divided by 9 minus 10. 12 minus 8 is 4. 9 minus 10 is negative 1. We always want to simplify our slope and get it to a whole number if we can, or a simplified fraction. So in this case, our slope is negative 4. Okay, moving on to number 10. Our slope is going to be 8 plus 20 divided by 14 minus 14. 8 plus 20, and I'm subtracting a negative, that's why it becomes plus, is 28. 14 divided by 14 is 0. Okay, 28 divided by 0 is undefined. We can never divide by 0. So the answer is an undefined slope. Okay, and that should remind you it's actually going to be a vertical line. All right, number 7, our slope is going to be negative 1 minus 7 divided by 12 plus 3. Okay, we're going to get a negative 8 15ths. So it's negative 8 15ths. Okay, moving on. Number 12, finding the missing coordinate given the slope. A lot of you guys are having trouble with this. So setting it up. Again, we're just going to use the formula for slope. So y2, which is 12, minus 4. Y sub 1 divided by x minus 6. Okay, we're trying to figure out what x is. And that slope is going to be equal to a negative 1. 12 minus 4 is 8. 8 divided by x minus 6 is equal to negative 1. All right, let's set that up and do cross products to solve for x. Okay, when we do that, we get negative 1 times x minus 6 is equal to 8 times 1. So negative x plus 6 is equal to 8. Our negative x is going to be equal to 2 when we subtract 6 from both sides. Okay, and when we divide by negative 1, x is equal to negative 2. So we can always check it by plugging in negative 2 for that missing variable. If I did that and did the slope, I would have 12 minus 4 divided by negative 2 minus 6, and I get 8 divided by negative 8. Is that a negative 1? Yep. Okay, that's my check, so it does work. Always do the check step, especially during your test. All right, number 13, find the x and y intercepts of the line with the given equation, and then we're going to graph the line. So our x-intercepts, remember, we always let our y be 0. Okay, if our y is 0, we're going to be left with 2x is equal to a negative 12, and when we divide, we get x is actually equal to negative 6. So negative 6, 0. And when we graph that, this is 3, 4, 5. We're a little off the graph. It's going to be right there at negative 6, 0. Our y-intercept, we let our x be 0. And when our x is 0 over here, we cover it up. We end up with 3y is equal to negative 12. So when we divide by 3, y is actually equal to negative 4. Okay, so it's a 0, negative 4, and we graph it, it would be right down here. So take the 2 points and connect them and make a line. Okay. All right, so number 14, find the slope and the y-intercept. Well, we want to divide both sides by 3, and we get y is equal to 6. Okay, this is a special case because we don't have an x variable, so we're going to think of y, all right, because y equals, and here we have y equals. That means it's going to be a horizontal line. And it's a horizontal line, it means it has a 0 slope, so we can fill that in. And our y-intercept is actually going to be at 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we just make our horizontal line, just like that. Okay, so moving on. Oh, I forgot the y-intercept here. We actually crossed right at 6. So we got 0, 6. All right, I'm going to solve number 15 for y. And I'm going to do that by adding 6x to both sides. All right, when I do that, I end up with 6y is equal to 6x minus 24, and then I'm going to divide every term, both sides, by 6. So I end up with y is equal to x minus 4. So my slope, if I'm in the form y equals mx plus b, I look at the coefficient before the x, and it's invisible, so it's actually a slope of 1. And my y-intercept is a negative 4. So to graph it, I'm going to start at my y-intercept of negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure I'm negative. My slope is 1, so I'm going to rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1. It's going to look like this when I graph it. Okay, moving on to number 16. 16, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5, and I end up with x is going to be equal to 5. X is 5. I only have the x variable, so I'm going to think of a special case. I'm going to think of x because of x equals, and that's x equals. I know my slope is undefined. It's going to be a vertical line. So my slope is undefined. All right. And I'm going to go to x is equal to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to make a vertical line. Okay. Notice, am I ever going to cross the y-axis? Nope. So it is none. All right, number 17, it's already in slope-intercept form. We like that, mx plus b, so our slope is negative 1/2, and our y-intercept is 3. So to graph it, let's start at the y-intercept, which is 3. 1, 2, 3, so there's our y-intercept at positive 3. Our slope is negative 1/2, so we're going to go down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2, and we're going to graph like that. So it's going to look something like that. Okay, moving on to 18, it says find the slope of the line. So we have the 2 points. We can simply do rise over run, okay? Rise over run, and let's count. To get from this point to this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 8, and then we're going to go to the right 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So our slope is 4. And then we check, is that a positive slope? Yes, it is. Okay, now this one says that the graph below was shifted up by 2. Okay, meaning if we shifted this thing whole up by 2, so instead of a y-intercept of 2, we would now have a y-intercept of 4. So let's write that. B is equal to 4. That's our y-intercept. If we shifted it up, it's still going to have the same slope, so let's figure out what the slope is. Here we're given 2 points. So we've got 1, 2, let's use the 2 points that are given here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rise of 6, run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and it's a negative 9. So our slope, after we simplify it, so we've got negative 6/9 would be negative 2/3. Okay, so we have our slope, we have our y-intercept. We can write the equation of the line. Y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 4. There's our answer. Okay, number 20, we want to write the equation of the line. So write a linear equation given a slope. So there's our slope is given. And the point 0,4. Well, that 0,4 is a nice point because it starts with 0. So we know actually that that's our b. All right, so that makes it easy. Y is equal to negative 3x plus 4. Okay, now the point given isn't always going to start with an x value of 0. It's not always going to be the y-intercept, so be careful. All right, so we're writing a linear equation that passes through the 2 points, and we're going to write it in slope-intercept form. So we know we're going to need our slope. So negative 6 minus 2 divided by 4 plus 2. We're going to get a negative 8 divided by 6, which is negative 4/3. Don't be afraid of the fractions. Okay, and we're going to actually, in this case, we're going to pick, whoops, what's that? All right, we're going to pick a point, doesn't matter which point. I'll pick this one right here. Okay, and we're going to put it in point slope form. All right, so there's the formula for point slope form. Let's fill it in. Y minus 2 is equal to negative 4/3 times x plus 2. All right, we're going to distribute. Y minus 2 is equal to negative 4/3 x minus 8/3. Okay, so all I did was take negative 4/3 and multiply it by 2 over 1. You go straight across with your fractions. That's how I got negative 8/3. Okay, and then I'm going to add 2 to both sides. But for this, because it's a fraction, when I add 2, I'm actually going to be adding 6/3. Okay, so let's make some space here. So my final answer is going to be y is equal to negative 4/3 x, okay, minus 2/3. Because negative 8/3 plus 6/3 is negative 2/3. Okay, 22. It says write the equation of a line that point slope form. So it's point slope form. Actually, in our it says in slope intercept form. Sorry. So we've got slope intercept form here. Okay. My key had point slope form. We may have changed it. So just we're going to write it in slope intercept form for this one. So we're going to go through these 2 points. So the first thing we want to do is get our slope. So we're going to say negative 6 minus 12, and then we've got 10 plus 3. So we're going to get a negative 18/13. Okay, so we're going to pick a point, doesn't matter which one. Let's use that one and put it in point slope form. So y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x of 1. So when I use that point, I've got y plus 6 is equal to negative 18/13 times x minus 10. Okay, y plus 6 is equal to negative 18/13 x plus 180/13. It's pretty big there. Okay, now I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So subtracting 6 means I'm actually going to subtract 6, so 18, so this is 78. Okay, 78/13. Okay, so when I combine, I get y is equal to negative 18/13 x, and I'm going to get plus 102/13. Okay, that one's not very nice, but it's a little bit easier in point slope form. Okay, write an equation in slope intercept form that passes through 4, negative 1, has a slope of 2. So we're going to use point slope form. So we've got y plus 1 is equal to 2 times x minus 4. Y plus 1 is equal to 2x minus 8. And then we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. Y is equal to 2x minus 9. Okay, 24. It says graph the equation. Okay, it says graph the equation and identify the point in the slope. Okay, this one's a little confusing. Okay, so if you look at this, it's actually in point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x of 1. Okay, notice it's in that form. So with that, we can just directly pull out the slope, which is 2/3. In our point, it's x minus 4. So our x1 is really 4, and then y minus 2, so this would be 2. So that would be our point. So if we wanted to graph it, we could start at the point 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. So there's 4, 2. And our slope is 2/3. Rise 2, run 3. Okay, rise 2, run 3. All right, so there's the equation of the line. Okay, same thing here. This is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x of 1. It's in point slope form already. Our slope jumps right out at negative 3. Our point, though, it's 2, but we're adding 2. So therefore, if we're subtracting in our form, it's actually going to be a negative 2. And here, this is going to be a negative 4. So negative 2, negative 4 is our point we start at. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and our slope is going to be negative 3, so we're going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3 to the right 1, up 2, 3 to the right 1. So it's going to look something like this. Okay, so moving on to 26, I'm actually going to pause the video right here and then continue on the next one because I am out of time for my 15 minutes. So please continue at 26 on the next video. Thank you.